Is the door open? Hello. I'm gonna walk back out. I don't work like this. Let me see your hands. Get down on the ground. Hey, get down. Hey, do not shoot him. Get down on the ground. Do not shoot him. Do not shoot him.
Hey, Dad, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Please. No, I told you don't use a gun. I told you don't use a gun.
Man, here we go again. Here we fucking go again. Yet another instance here in the good old state of Texas showing us that black folks and our lives don't fucking matter to anyone, especially those who are a part of the police departments in their respective counties and districts. Now, first you showed us that a black man couldn't sit in his own apartment eating ice cream, minding his own fucking business without a drunken, belligerent police officer who's coming home from work, shooting him, killing him dead, while supposedly mistaking him for a robber. Then you show that people in a black community who are concerned about a neighbor can't call into the police department for a welfare check and not have that officer come to a woman's home while she's up late at night playing video games with her nephew without being shot dead. And now here we are. Yet another instance. Here we are a week later. And you show us that a minister can't be going through a mental health crisis and in need of help, not be shot by an officer who is untrained, hostile, and doesn't know what the fuck he's walking into. This is gonna be a little bit of an aggressive talk, so sit back and relax. This is the Bill Talk That Talk. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Christopher J, aka CJ Hunter, one half of the Bill Podcast, and this is the Bill Talk That Talk, where you know we give our commentary, we gotta get our shit off. So first and foremost, man, this shit happening doesn't surprise me. On January 10th, 2021, Minister Patrick Warren Sr. was shot dead by a Killeen police officer after being called to this house by the family of Mr. Warren Sr. to do a mental health check. Now, according to all of the reports that I've read, Minister Warren Sr. was dealing with some mental health issues. And the thing is that what shocks me about all of this shit is the fact that just the day before, there was a mental health resource officer who was sent to the home, was able to have a conversation with and calm and ease the mental anguish and anxiety that Warren Sr. was experiencing. And he agreed willingly to go on ahead and go to the hospital in the middle of having this mental health crisis. So what that shows is that there was at least one person available for Killeen PD to send, who had the training and the wherewithal to understand that they were dealing with a citizen who was going through a mental health crisis, some form of psychosis, and had the training and ability to be able to help that person without that person being harmed. So then my question is, why in the fuck would you send someone to the same home that called the day before who wasn't trained? Why would you send a fucking police officer who is not a mental health expert nor a resource officer to handle a mental health wellness check? Officer Contreras, according to the family statement, and you can also see on the fucking video, walked into the home hostile. So he's already walking into this house hostile. So here's what that means. What that means is that we have to evaluate what he was told before even entering into the home. Because the thing is that if you don't have a reason to be hostile, then why walk into a situation hostile to begin with? So number one, we have to discover what the fucking dispatch told the officer this situation was. And then number two, reports also show that the family sensed the officer's hostility. Mr. Warren Sr. was within his right to refuse service, and then he was asked to leave. But then he's seen coming back to the door, knocking on the front door again, thus meeting Mr. Warren at the front door, who answered it. Now, if you look at the videotape, Mr. Warren is obviously going through a moment of psychosis. Like there's some sort of mental break because he's wailing his hands. So number one, he has no weapon. Now at that point, my question is why in the fuck didn't you just leave in the first place? Like, why did you go back to the door, knock on that motherfucker, and even have to have an interaction with Mr. Warren? Then you telling him, this man, to get on the ground. This man is he's going through a mental health crisis. So I would argue 10 times out of 10, he doesn't even know what the fuck he's doing. He can't even, he's not even hearing you. So then you tase him. Okay? To tase him is one thing. Like, all right, cool. Like, I understand that, right? You have to tase him to stop him. But then to shoot him, to kill him, rather than to shoot him to stop him, or better yet, you should have fucking left. Like, it's, and now here we are. We have a man who is suffering mentally, dead and gone for no fucking reason whatsoever, because Killeen PD sent an untrained, hostile, although veteran, officer who does not know, did not know how to handle this type of situation. That, ladies and gentlemen, is fucking bullshit. Let me just go ahead and get to my 3 points so that I can get out y'all face. Number one, you should never send someone who is untrained and has no real experience dealing with the public or dealing with anyone who has mental health issues to a mental health and wellness welfare check ever. Like, that's just, to me, that's just fucking common sense. Like, this officer does not have that type of experience. And the day before, we sent a mental health resource officer to these people's home to check on this man, and everything worked out fine. So I'm just like, I'm really confused. We have seen instances where our white counterparts have clearly been going through mental health issues. A dude chasing a police officer naked, a dude using his car to run over an officer, you know, like women being arrested by an officer while at the same time she's hitting him, kicking him, slapping him, punching him, biting him, all of those things. And these officers have shown the ability to have fucking restraint. Yet, in this situation, a man who you can clearly see isn't in his right mind is shot dead and killed. Like, we need more resources in these respective counties and districts and states all across this country that will allow for the mental health needs of our public, specifically in black communities, to be met. Like, this shit shouldn't have happened. Like, it boggles my fucking mind, man. Like, this man didn't have to die, and those resources that could be used in order to properly train or just properly have help for the people that need it leads me to my second point. Y'all motherfuckers get mad when people talk about the defunding of police and all of these other things, and it's like, oh, you know, we need our police and this and that and the third. And my idea is that yes, we do need law enforcement to some degree, you know, in order to serve and protect the community when necessary. But the fact of the matter is that the funding that so many police departments around the country have is they have it in order to fucking militarize the police. Like, y'all niggas got, you know, body armor and all kind of like military grade, you know, weaponry and tactical gear and all of that shit to protect and serve. Like, I'm not really understanding it. Like, those very resources need to go towards, you know, these mental health departments and other resources that communities, specifically, you know, poor black and brown communities, need in order to, you know, be able to get through these types of crises and, you know, just shit in general. Guess what, dipshits? White folks ain't the only one who are clinically diagnosed with mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a matter of fact, like, we are just now, like, as a black community, I would argue it's become chic within the last maybe 2 or 3 years to even be talking about the destigmatization of like having mental health issues and going to counseling and therapy and all that shit. So it's just like man, like this. I'll just go ahead and get to my third and final point, and that is the idea that we know that nothing is gonna happen, and that's the sad part. Like, they will have the funeral services for Minister Warren. They will, you know, try to fight as much as they can. But I have absolutely no faith in the Killeen District Attorney. I have absolutely no faith in the Texas Rangers who are doing the investigation. I have no faith in this system whatsoever that this family is going to receive the proper justice and that this officer is going to be reprimanded or suffer any sort of consequences for his actions whatsoever. We're gonna cover this thing more in depth on the BO podcast. I just, you know, we're a week later. I'm recording this on Sunday, January 17th, 2021, and here we are. It's a week later, and there isn't nearly enough national attention being brought to this story. And I feel like that's simply because we've reached so much fucking trauma fatigue that Minister Patrick Warren Sr. just represents yet another black man being killed by the police. And there's gonna be people that are gonna find some sort of way to justify this brother's murder by a police officer, when in all actuality that wasn't the fate that he deserved. He deserved to be better served and helped based on the whatever mental issues this man was going through. Man, I send my thoughts, my prayers. I'm gonna, you know, pour out libations and light incense for this brother and his family, you know, because I couldn't imagine how I would feel if I had a member of my family who I know and I love that is going through something, and the consequences of them going through that mental health crisis is death. Please, man, like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. And we out.